Today we are not going to be playing Hog 2.6. We're going to be playing Rocket 2.6. This is a very quick cycle rocket deck with rocket and mirror, and we're going to see if we can win just by throwing rockets at our opponent's tower. And just like the Void deck that we used a couple of days ago, this entire deck is centered around the rocket. That is our only way of getting chip damage on their tower. A lot of rocket decks, a lot of rocket cycle decks that you see in ladder, decks that are actually being used, a lot of them have miner in them to kind of, apply pressure with the miner for a little bit less expensive. So you're not committing 6 elixir, you're committing 3, and you're still getting chip damage. But we wanted to center this deck completely around the rocket, because then it would be, if we had miner, it would be a minor rocket cycle deck, where I just wanted to see, could we win with only rocket? Looks like we are going to have our work cut out for us in this first game, because we are up against this Recruits Pigs deck, which is typically really good at applying double lane pressure, and we don't have a ton of like troops that spawn in this deck. We do have a couple of spells in the Royal Delivery and the Bard Barrel that do spawn a troop, but we don't have anything like a wizard or a witch or a Valkyrie, and so this could be difficult. And because of that, we're not going to launch any rockets right now in single elixir. We're going to wait till we kind of defend a little bit more before we start doing that, just because this is a tricky deck to defend against. He does have pigs, so hopefully we have enough for Tesla. And we're almost into double, so we may be able to, if he does go with recruits in the back, we might be able to throw a rocket at his tower. We don't have log to take the shields off of the recruits. Alright, he's going to go with that here, so we will hurl a rocket. It will take the shields off of all the recruits, and now we will just set up for defense. He's hitting us with a thanks, because he's probably incredibly confident that he can win, and he probably can, to be fair. This is a very easy deck to play. The Recruits Pigs deck is just, you kind of, the strategy is just split everything, and it kind of just constantly applies dual lane pressure that is incredibly hard to deal with. We're going to play this on the flying machine so that hopefully it... Okay, it jumped on the goblins. We might make a variation to this deck. We might make a variation to this deck. We don't have a whole lot of... Now that I'm thinking about it, a lot of decks that have Rocket Cycle have like a knight or something in it, just as kind of a... as a more solid tank. We do have Ice Golem, which is okay, but maybe we end up swapping this out for... Maybe we don't need the freeze effect of the Ice Golem. Maybe we need to put in the Hero Knight just as a higher healthy unit that can also attack. Now it's 2.7 cycle, but we may try out a couple different variations of the rocket deck to find the best rocket cycle deck out there. And again, the best rocket deck in the game is probably one with miner in it as well. But we're just trying to figure out, can you win solely with rocket and not even have miner in the deck? So that's what we're going to be finding out. And Knight does feel like a little bit of a better fit, just being able to spawn a troop immediately instead of having to play the delivery or the Bard Barrel to get a troop out of it. And that might help if we, we'll just rocket that. Yeah, I was going to say he's probably going to try to set up and defend that, so we'll just rocket it. We'll take a little bit of chip damage, but I think as long as we keep rocketing the Expos, then we should be okay. I think this was a good game to add Knight in the deck, because otherwise we would have to spawn a Royal Delivery or a Bard Barrel in order to get a high health troop on the board. But now that we have the Knight, we can just put him down immediately, and that way the Expo has a much lower chance of locking on the tower. So I'm hoping we can do that. And you know what? I'm actually feeling confident. I think we can throw a rocket here. If he does go with an Expo, yeah, we can just go like this. That should help out. The Knight should tank, and then we can just go with a bar barrel. And it was a little bit of a risky rocket in single. I think we're actually going to need to mirror this as well. Otherwise, we're going to take more damage. But at the end of the day, we can defend. That is typically why I like saving the rocketing for double, just because you can recover easier. Because when you spend 6 elixir on a spell, your defense has to be top tier. I don't know that he's back to Expo. Okay, he has rocket as well. So this is going to be interesting. I wonder if this is just going to turn into a... Okay, we'll just go like this. I think that is in range of the Tesla, but it should get a couple of hits on the Expo before it dies. And we... Okay, we're going to take a tad bit of chip damage, but our cycle should be quicker than his. This is a 2.7 cycle, and his deck should be a 3 point something. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm assuming his deck is a bit more expensive, so I think we can probably outcycle him. And we're just going to preemptively go for this. Yeah, just because I was assuming he was going to go with that. And now we'll go with this over to the side, just so the other Tesla can't hit it. And this is kind of coming down to just rocket chip. This is coming down to a rocket cycling game. Alright, hold on. Gotta be a bit locked in here. Do we just mirror the rocket? Because it sounds like... I don't know if he's given up with the Expos. Okay, he's probably going to go with it here. Alright, there it is. I think we're 2 rockets away. So as long as we don't take any chip damage from the bow... Okay, this is actually getting a bit stressful. I think we can just mirror the rocket and win. Okay. Alright, that was a bit stressful, but we do it. We do win against Expo with rocket. We'll give this deck one more try. I think Knight feels like a better fit in this deck, just as far as getting a higher health troop on the board immediately. And I don't actually know if we need Bar Barrel and Royal Delivery, just because they both kind of clear out swarms and spawn a troop, which I don't know if we need two cards that do nearly the same thing. If you guys have any suggestions on what changes to make as you're looking at this, please let me know. You know, I'm not a pro by any means at Rocket Cycle, so if you guys have you know, a better Rocket Cycle deck that you want me to give a try in a future video, just let me know. But as for the last video, it seemed to work. It seemed to work okay. Hopefully we don't go up against... We're up against recruits again. Let's just hope this isn't the same recruits pigs match, because that would be that would be a bit difficult, just because there's so much swarm, there's so much. Okay. It looks like that's exactly what we're up against. It looks like we're up against the same recruits pigs deck again. This is going to be tough. This actually looks like the exact same... This is the exact same variant as well. Down to the hero goblins and everything. Well, let's see if we can redeem ourselves with the hero knight in the deck this time. There's not going to be a whole lot of rocketable troops, just because he's going to probably split everything. So, you know, at most, we can probably rocket 2 Zappies if they're both by the tower, but this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. This is going to be a real test. We're actually just going to mirror the delivery, just because that should do well against both lanes. We shouldn't take too much damage on either side. And even if he does go pigs, we should be able to defend. Alright, we haven't got much damage on his tower, but neither has he. So I don't think we can throw a rocket at his tower yet. Just because he has pigs in hand. So we have to defend these first. And then, now that we're in double, I think we can probably afford to go with a rocket. This is tough. It's like it's hard to know when to go in, just because it's like there is just constant dual lane pressure. And do we just mirror the Tesla here? Is that the best card to mirror? We probably could have. That might have been a good. That might have been a good card to mirror. We are taking a lot of damage, and we're not getting much damage on his side. This might just be a tough matchup. We're gonna try something else. We're gonna try Teslaing over here, and I think we actually need to. We need to use the evil skeletons. Holy. All right. Well. If you're going to be playing Rocket Cycle, just hope you don't go against recruits, because then you're gonna have your work cut out for you. I guess, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. It's like, just like with any deck, it's gonna have its good matchup, it's gonna have its bad matchup. If you're playing against, yeah, I think that was literally the exact same deck. If you're playing Recruits Pigs, it's going to be difficult. If you frequently lose against Expo, then you'll probably be alright. So that is a Rocket Cycle deck. You can win with it, and you can win against a genuine deck as well. But, you know, it still loses against Recruits Pigs. So before we go, let's see what offers are in the shop. We'll get most of these just because, I don't know, it seems like the coin deals are not too bad, and we have some extras. We're even going to get Void, even though it's not a card that I really use. And this is my least favorite emote in the game. It is my least favorite emote, but we're going to buy it anyway, just because it's such an annoying emote that we may end up... Oh man, I don't want to be the guy that uses that emote. Just because I hate seeing it, but... You know, maybe we'll reserve that for the Mega Knight or E-Golem users. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this Rocket Cycle deck. Let me know if there are any deck ideas that you want me to try out in the future, and hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.